Good morning. So we got a solar eclipse happening in 2 days. And it is kind of a big deal. It's not just the fact that it's the solar eclipse, there's a whole lot of other alignments going on in the sky that I think add to this, that add to the intensity of this eclipse. It is also happening at the very last degree of Virgo. This is what we call in astrology the anaretic degree. It's a very critical point, right? It's right before the turn of a sign, all right? This feels like final thoughts with the insights we've been getting, okay? Now, one thing that's just always important to remember when we think of eclipses, it is great endings and great new beginnings. Now, this could be happening in many different areas of your life, these great endings and great new beginnings. It could be very subtle, right? This could be a great ending of a way of thinking. It could be a great new beginning in subtle qualities within your body, within yourself, within your mind. Or it could be something big on the outside. There could be relationships ending, relationships beginning. There could be jobs, living situations. You could be moving. There's all kinds of stuff that could be happening with big eclipses. But generally with Virgo and Pisces, where the nodal axis is right now, where we've been having eclipses, this has a lot to do with health and mind. Health of the body and health of the mind. It is the axis between body and spirit. It is the axis between order and chaos. It is the axis between spiritual and material. It's the axis between spiritual and material. It's a big one, but very much in the way of the mind. What do we got? Ascendant. Well, the ascendant is currently at 15 degrees of Libra, so that could be significant for you. Mars is in Libra. All right. You know what's interesting is that Mars is going to be at 29 degrees of Libra at the same time as the eclipse. Okay? There's a lot of relational stuff going on with this as well. Okay, what ascendant? Cancer. Okay, we got 20 Cancer here. Someone could have their ascendant around 20 Cancer or just in Cancer in general if you have any placements in Cancer at all. Also, let's go look at the whole sign house ruled by Cancer in your chart. We also want to pay attention to Jupiter. We do also want to pay attention to Jupiter because Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces and because the nodes are in Pisces and Virgo right now. Is there any other sign, planet, point in the charts that we need to look at today? Gemini, Mercury. Yep. So, someone could possibly have Mercury in either Gemini or Cancer. All right. Their ascendant could be Gemini. Now, this is going to be for everyone. There's always going to be things in my readings that will make sense for you if you're tuning in. Not everything will be. I want to really try to do a better job of seeing all the different messages. I know it's hard, but Gemini, Mercury is a big one. I was going to mention too that a big thing having to do with this eclipse is the fact that Uranus is in Gemini. I've been talking about it a lot. I know Uranus in Gemini is a big deal. This is the starting point of a big transit that's going to be happening for the next 8 years. And we're going to have to get used to it. All right. Our Cancer risings are really going to have to get used to it because why? So let me explain this a little bit. I said this the other day and I do want to clarify. All right. It's not that all Cancer risings are going to have the risk of going insane with having Uranus and Gemini in their 12th house. All right. It's not that big a deal. It could be though. And you don't have to also be a Cancer rising to be seriously afflicted by having Uranus and Gemini. You could have some planets in Gemini or squaring it opposite that are in hard aspect with Uranus. It's really affecting you. But in general, the reason why I say that the Cancer risings are going to be the ones that are most at risk for losing their fucking minds during the time of Uranus being in Gemini is because the 12th house is the house of self-undoing. Self-undoing. It's the house that takes us away from ourselves in traditional astrology. Now, the ancients were pretty fatalistic about it. Now, modern astrology, they say, it's the house of the occult, it's where the veil is the thinnest, and which is true. But first, it's the shadow. First, it's the shadow that we need to uncover. Now, this also puts Virgo and Pisces for the Cancer risings. It puts Virgo and Pisces in the 3rd house and Pisces in the 9th with whole sign houses. Okay. Now, to me, the way that I like to describe and break down the 3rd and the 9th houses, the 3rd house is the house of the left brain or rational thinking, whereas the 9th house is like our right brain. Traditionally, the 9th house was the house of God, of spirit. It's the house of our overall beliefs. It can be long distance travel and higher education, right? But it has to do with our overall way that we view the universe and the world and life. Whereas the third house, this could be our everyday, every moment to moment thoughts, our how we communicate, how we think, how we speak, right? It's traditionally the joy of the moon. So it's the things that come and go, right? Now, modern astrologers like to associate Gemini with the third house. We want to erase that from your mind. It actually comes more from having Virgo associated with the third house, okay? But so with having the eclipses here for the Cancer risings, all right, that means that we're having great endings. This is funny because this is what I mentioned when I first started filming, that it could be something very subtle, all right, because the third house, it's great endings and great new beginnings in the way that we're thinking. Mercury. All right. When we have like our nodal axis there, like our natal nodal axis in the 3rd and the 9th, it doesn't matter what signs. I believe that it's hardest to find reconciliation and to find balance between our overall thoughts and how we view the world, what we believe versus how we act on a moment to moment basis, how we think on a moment to moment basis. Right. We want to have more of an integrated way of thinking that aligns with how we see the world. And yeah, so back to having Uranus in the 12th house for these Cancer risings. I've been probably scaring the Cancer risings a little bit, so I'm glad that I'm saying a little bit of this for you. I do also want to go and do horoscopes for the fucking eclipses for everyone. I'm sorry I haven't. For my patrons, I love you guys. Thank you. Anyway, just Uranus and Gemini in general. Uranus is generally pretty benefic. It's a positive planet. It can be innovation and great ideas, right? But at the same time, it's in the sign of the mind and a very, very fast moving air sign, right? So it's like, it can kind of make us crazy. It could burn us out. It could spin us out. We can definitely overthink. So I've been saying like, it'll make or break us. It'll either speed up that back and forth Gemini action, the overextending, the overthinking, the over everything. Okay. It will either speed that up, or it could give us the extra point down the middle that aligns it and that brings it all together. The point that reconciles the two halves. Gemini is the 2. It is the 2. They don't have the Gemini glyph on here. Oh wait, that's Cancer. That's why. They don't have it on here either. But it's like the little 2, the Roman numeral 2 sign, because it has to do with dualism more than any other sign. It has to do with the split of the mind more than any other sign, Gemini. All right? So we need to be calming our minds now. Otherwise, we're gonna freak out. This eclipse is going to be pretty intense when it comes to this, all right? Especially for my Cancer risings. But all of this, you don't have to be a Cancer rising for this reading to make sense for you. Okay, let's get into the tarot. Jeez, Cancer risings be dominating my energy. Jeez. What's in the cards for today? Page of Pentacles. We have one glorious body in this lifetime. What are we going to do with it? What does it say? A sign of good luck given in token. Yeah, sometimes it could be the offering of a gift. It could be the extension of a message. The real gift, the truest gift we have, is the gift of having a body and the gift of having a life on earth. Page of Swords, this time reversed. We got 2 pages, first cards. This one says, learn justice by admonition. And then we have the 10 of Swords reversed. Dead end, betrayal, tragedy, defeat of spirit. This is such a weird deck. I'm not that into this deck, but I'm gonna use it. It gives us some different stuff to work with. 10 of Swords reversed. It's good. It's reversed. And then we have the Hermit reversed. What's going on with this? Lord, teach me thy paths. Someone's coming down off Hermit Mountain. I said that yesterday, Page of Pentacles. Page of Swords reversed. Someone could be... Oh my god. My Page of Swords reversed is my imbalanced Gemini card, guys. So, are you overthinking? Are you spinning out in your head? Do you feel crazy sometimes? Me too. We all probably do, but You're not crazy. You just need to stop thinking so much. You just need to calm your thoughts. Every time that you feel yourself spinning out, you got to say to yourself, like, there's nothing really to worry about. Oh yeah, I'm protected. We got to start steering new thought paths in our brains, new neural pathways. Okay? The old ones have made such deep ruts in the road that it's easy for us to go and think that way. But I don't like this fucking deck. All right, let's get a little bit more extra information, clarification. 10 of Swords. That's the victim mentality. So that's the problem here. It's not that someone has been betrayed. I mean, someone probably has been betrayed. Someone probably has had their back stabbed. Someone probably has been through fucking hell. All right? Chances are, if you're watching this, you have. Okay? But that doesn't mean that we need to think that everybody and everything and the world and the universe and God is out to get us. Okay? That's the victim mentality. It will create issues all around you. So we need to hold on to a new way of thinking. Page of Swords. Get a little bit more. Hi guys, if you don't know me, my name is Toad, and I'm here with your daily transmission from the Toad realm. Okay. Judgment, reversed. King of Swords reversed with the Page of Swords reversed. 3 of Cups reversed with the 10 of Swords. Someone got cheated on. Someone got cheated on. I'm sorry. That sucks. Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles clarifying the Hermit reversed. Could be a Capricorn type person or an earth sign. Doesn't have to be. King of Pentacles. I looked down. It was there. I picked up the deck and one more was just on the table. Guys, my heart. We got divine counterparts. This is interesting. It says for the King of Pentacles. They're both upright too, by the way. The stars show to the kings the way to follow. The Hermit. What did I say yesterday? He goes into the darkness in order to find the stars. And then for Queen of Pentacles, it says wisdom is of greater force than destiny. I don't know what that means. I love that some fucking dude or whoever made this deck just decided to pick some random sayings and put them on here. You're like, you know, it'll give us something. I'll use it for today and it will make sense for today, but this is not a very legit deck. So, okay. Let's clarify Judgment on the Page of Pentacles. 8 of Cups. King of Pentacles again. Someone's considering offering a gift, offering an opportunity, or taking an opportunity, taking a gift, accepting an offer. But they're afraid of making a risk and setting off into the dark. It requires some sort of risk. It requires some sort of risk. What is this? The Fool. And Judgment. Wow. Judgment clarifying Judgment with the Fool. And I just said it requires some sort of risk. And we have the Leap of Faith card. Yeah, this is your destiny. There's something it's your destiny, but it requires the faith. It requires going off into the darkness. Now, this is something that I've discovered about it, and you can take it or leave it. But if you want to level up, if you want to actually jump timelines, if you actually want to become the best version of yourself, it requires taking a risk. It requires setting off into the darkness. It requires not fully knowing, because to know for sure which direction to go always is to limit yourself, is to keep yourself in the scene. It's to keep yourself in one way or another. I did just see the 2 of Swords. You know, that's that black and white thinking. Okay? And if you're like waiting, trying to know what the best possible way to go is, like if you're trying to get some sort of clarity before you go, before you set off into the dark, right? Then you're not going to actually level up. You're not going to. You need to actually take this leap of faith, knowing that you're the Fool, knowing that you're playing a game. You're playing the game of life, and you're about to level up. You're about to get to the world. You're about to there's going to be a lot more people. There's going to be a lot more people that are graduating from the game of life, that are beating the game of life, that don't want to play the game of life anymore. But it requires this. It requires this. You're going to be really disappointed if you don't. Please clarify the Page of Swords and the King of Swords. I think someone is really worried about their mental health. Yeah. They're worried about, there's the Page of Swords again. Oh, and the Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. All right, wait. Hold on. Bring them all back. Someone feels like they're not Maybe they feel like they're not smart enough. They feel like they're not, like they have some sort of mental health issue. Yeah, 100%. It's the third time. Scarcity mindset, abandonment issues, feeling left out in the cold. They just feel like they're constantly depressed. It's okay. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I was gonna say something. What was I gonna say? Oh, the graduating life thing. Do I need to say it? A lot of us are going to be dealing with divine counterparts, that we are going to start vibrating and aligning and having to do the primary split thing. It's hard. It's one of the hardest lessons, like the moon. It's one of the hardest things that we have to do. When you finally start aligning with your twin flame, with your divine counterpart, okay? Really, this is the work. This is the work. Healing this stuff, this brings out all of it, okay? When you actually align with your person, the reason why a lot of us don't actually do it, the reason why a lot of us don't actually come into union with the other half is because it's hard work. It's because it brings up and it's like, no, we need to get all of the rest of the shit out of the way. We need to get all of it out of the way. We need to start. It's like any last shadows, more on this 12th house stuff. Any last shadows that are lingering in the dark, anything, the stuff from our childhood, it brings up all the childhood wounds. It brings up all the darkness. It brings up every last little thing that you need to heal so that you can come into alignment, so that you can heal the halves of yourself, so that you can heal the masculine and the feminine within you, so you can heal the spiritual and the physical within you, so that you can do what we came here to do. And the reason why I started thinking about this card when I saw this is because it is how we graduate life. It's how we beat the game. It's how, if we don't want to play this game anymore, we did come here to have fun, so you better start having fun. If you are not having fun, you're not going to beat the game, okay? The way to beat the game is to have fun. But also, the wheel is starting to turn quicker. The wheel is starting to spin faster. People are burning off their karma faster. The people that have been through the worst hell, are the ones that come into alignment. It's hard. If it ain't hard, then they're not your divine counterpart, okay? Because we burn through the karma. We have to burn off we have to get through the last of the shit. We have to go through the relationships that bring up the trauma. We have to go through the relationships that reflect what our parents went through or what our grandparents, that reflect the fears that we hold on to. It's all about fear. If you can sublimate your fear, then you can come into alignment. Okay? That's what this is about. 7 to 17. Oh. What did I just say? You have to sublimate the fear. 7 to 17. There's a reason why. This is the black and white thinking, okay? After you make a choice at the level of the lovers, that one, by here we know. Remember what I always say. The lovers, we don't always know. We just got to go checking that foundation. All right? If you checked all the foundations and the pillars are there, if you've met a person and all the pillars are there for the first spin around, you go forward. Go forward, but don't think black and white. Don't be like, oh, maybe this, maybe that. No, be sure. You're not going to come into alignment if you're not sure. This is bringing up all of it. It's going to bring up all of it. That's what happens. Any last bit so that you can really be there for each other. It's like, where are my fears? It's on both sides. It's fear of abandonment, Where the fuck did this come from? Weird shit, guys. Weird shit with Neptune. Weird shit. This is the union. It's the childlike joy. Okay, so the real thing with it, if it's really your divine counterpart, again, maybe you're still burning through the karma. Maybe you're still having to go through some, if you heal the childhood stuff and then you act like children together. You don't grow old. You don't see it in this one, but, they're supposed to be the two people Guys, this reading. 10 of Cups! Oh, and the Page of Cups. So, look. Oh my god! Ace of Wands just fell onto my lap from the top of the deck here. Okay. Wait, your fate. This is our destiny. It is what we need to do. Man, woman, and child. Okay, in order to graduate life, we finally come around and we get the hardest relationship. We go through the hardest relationships. When you come into the lifetime where you're ready to heal the primary split, then we go through some really fucked up relationships. 10 of Swords, right? That's the one where we usually see someone with getting stabbed in the back, right? Oh my god. Under this was the Page of Cups. Oh, taking your sweet time, but it's such a stable offer. Just move forward with it, Paige. Who the fuck is texting me? Leave me alone. Anyway, so what I was saying is that when you're ready to come into the lifetime where you're ready to heal the primary split, where you're ready to finally graduate Earth, to beat the game of life so we don't have to come back and play it anymore. Like, you've been playing for a long time. Most of the time, when you finally come into alignment with your divine counterparts, then you've been here so long that you don't even really want to play the game of life at all anymore. And so that's a big thing to heal. That's a big thing to heal. You're like, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. Because if you've been playing the game of life for a really long time, then it's going to be harder. It's going to be harder. And we're not going to remember it at certain times. Guys. And so we get dealt hard hands. We get dealt hard hands. Like getting our fucking backstabbed and getting cheated on. 3 of Cups reversed with the 10 of Swords. You know? Or whatever it is. Or, you know. Oh, the Empress. I'll get back to that. And we need to let that shit go. All right. But we get dealt that shit. And it fucks with our fucking brain. It fucks with us. My Cancer risings, the 3rd house, the 9th house, the 12th house. And so, yeah, you got some shit that you got to heal. We all have some shit we got to heal. What's that? There's Page of Swords again. Just picked it up. We all got some shit we got to heal with our brain. And, you know, generally, the older of a soul that you are, the more crazy you're going to be. I do believe that sometimes people come back after they heal the primary split, after they've gone through the whole, like, twin flame union thing. You know, after they've done all this, and they come back as a legitimate crazy person. They come back as the actual fool, like the village idiot, like a schizophrenic. But anyway, look, we can heal it. It's a slow build. You can be the king upright. It just takes... Okay. It's going to take a combination of things. It is going to take some faith. I'm seeing the 3 here, right? It's going to take some faith. But it's going to be a combination of the different elements of yourself. You need to combine again with the 3rd house and the 9th house. You know, we have a monk, we have a sculptor, and we have an architect. So you need to combine the logical, the spiritual, and the creative. The logical. Where my spiritual at? Sexual healing. Someone needs some sexual healing. Okay, well, yeah, you just need to work on it, basically. It just takes working on your thoughts. It just takes noticing your thoughts. It just takes noticing your thoughts and starting to steer them differently. So when you're driving around, if you're making art, if you are, you know, whatever, doing the dishes, okay? Start to notice how you feel in your body. Start to notice, like, are you furrowing your brow? What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about what's going wrong? Are you worried about something? What's this? We need to be content. You need to take your minds off of the things that you cannot change in the moment, okay? Or the things that you are worried about yourself. It's not true. It's all an illusion. Are we starting? It is not true. It's all an illusion. We have the power. We become what we think about. We become what we think about, guys. Gratitude. Contentment. We have all of the tools. Remember your power. Remember your power. Guys, this is our destiny. In order to beat the game of life, you have to remember this. All is becoming clear now. All is becoming clear. Guys, rise up. We have the power. Can we please clarify the King and the Queen of Pentacles? Knight of Pentacles. Queen of Wands. Knight of Cups. Okay, well, they're moving very slowly. They don't have to be earth signs. There's a lot of attraction. You could identify as one of my torch bearers, right? We don't have to. The signs don't really matter. We have all of the signs within us. We're trying to be the Emperor and the Empress, okay? We're trying to be the Emperor and the Empress, which is all of the signs. I mean, all of the elements within, okay? We don't need to be... We want to be the King and the Queen of Pentacles. We want to be the King and the Queen of Cups. We want to be the King and the Queen of Swords. And we want to be the King and the Queen of Wands. Okay? That's how we become the Empress, is that we keep in mind all of the different elements and we're constantly keeping them in check. King of Wands! King of Wands and Queen of Wands. Do not settle. King and Queen of Wands, King and Queen of Pentacles. You guys, have faith. Speak your truth. It's known, okay? So, yeah. So I think that there is some sort of divine counterpart situation that someone's dealing with. And you'll know if it's for you or not, you know, if you're dealing with it. But I think the masculine in this duo got hurt really bad in the past. And so it's made him really feel cold. It's made him really cold, really unemotional, and he could have a really, really hard time expressing his emotions. And that's why the page comes out like this. Okay? This is what it is. He has a really hard time expressing his emotions. He expresses it better with... You know, he might show it better passionately. It's hard. Anything else I can say about that? God. King and the Queen of Swords now. It could be air signs. Knight of Swords, Page of Swords, Ace of Swords. I just saw the Four of Swords too. It's gonna be really important, guys. Getting ringing. It is important. It's important to make things clear, okay? Now, someone is has a really hard time communicating. Someone's wondering if someone's single or not, or someone's dating someone else or not. Why all these people? He loves her. And he wants to move forward like this energetically, but then he's so blocked. He's so blocked in his throat. It's okay. It's okay. We're healing that. We're healing that. Yeah. So someone is... There's a lot of love, okay? Ugh. King of Wands. It's just so divinely orchestrated. The Emperor. Okay. We had King and Queen of Pentacles. We've had the King and Queen of Wands. We have the King and Queen of Swords. We now have the King and the Queen of Cups. And we have the Emperor and the Empress. I'm going to stop there. What did I say about wanting to be all of the signs? All of the elements. And it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay? It doesn't need to be perfect. And she already knows. You know, with these friggin' divine counterparts. With these guys. The thing is... Where the fuck did my Two of Cups go? There it is. With these divine counterparts, like, the telepathy? Off the charts. Off the charts. So, if you feel like you're dealing with that, guys... Like, don't second guess yourself. This shit is trippy. They don't need to... I'm just like, I get like at a loss for words, you know? Because... Okay, that's how it works for me. That's how it works for me. If we end on the first card, then I can stop. This is a really long one. I hope it helps. I hope it helps my Cancer risings. Maybe Cancer rising will stop coming out every day if I give them the information that they need. Like, geez, but consider your life, consider this body, consider the game of life and play it. Play the game. Play the game, motherfuckers. 4 wands. All right, I love you guys. Hope you have a great day. Please let me know if you have any questions. Good luck with this eclipse. Good luck. Calm your minds. Do some fucking meditation. All right, I love you.